Hi and good afternoon everyone. Welcome back to Hansa Travels. I'm just here earning my money while I'm making this video for you guys. That's right, I get paid to sit at home and wait for perhaps a phone call. What's today? Today is Wednesday. It is hump day, middle of the week, and I am on reserve right now. Cross your fingers I don't get called while I'm doing this video for you guys. Today, I am bringing you another one of my video series from the everything that you've ever wanted to know about an airline. And today we are talking about Allegiantair. So why am I talking about Allegiantair today? They are hiring, guys. That's right. Allegiant is currently hiring, aside from other airlines like Americans. But anyways, today's video is about Allegiantair. So if you've ever wanted to know more information on this company, stick around. All right, everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you for sticking around and let's get started. But first, I must put a disclaimer that I am not an employee, a representative, or a spokesperson for Allegiantair. I simply did my research and I looked online at all the information that I am bringing to you. First of all, I want to start off by saying that Allegiantair has just signed a union agreement for their flight attendants. Now, Allegiantair has been in contract negotiations since 2011. And so for 6 years, they have been going back and forth because they just couldn't come to an agreement. But as of November of 2017, they have reached a new agreement. And so all the information that I'm gonna give you, it comes from the brand new contract that has been signed. According to the new contract that was just signed, flight attendants will get paid. It's either going to be $22 even or $22.25 per flight hour. Per diem, it is now going to be $2 an hour. Your minimum monthly guaranteed amount will be 75 hours per month that you will get paid whether you fly or not. Now, if you take, I'm just gonna take the $22 even because it's just easier math. So $22 even times 75 equals to $16.50 per month. So that is how much you'll be making every single month, whether you fly a single hour or not. Now, obviously, if you fly more than 75 hours, you'll get paid on top of that, but that is your base pay, $16.50. In the near future, Allegiantair will become an all AIRBUS fleet. So they are phasing out the MD-80s, but that you will be flying MD-80s until they do that. The company did buy, I believe, either 12 or 13 brand new Airbuses because they cost so many millions and millions of dollars, these planes. The company is taking ownership of the planes little by little. So even though, you know, it's in the contract for them to have 12 or 13 brand new planes, they don't have them all at once. All right, guys, so if you get a CJO, which is a conditional job offer to go to training, then you can expect to fly into Las Vegas where the headquarters are at. So training will be here in Las Vegas for 4.5 to 5 weeks of training. Now, the training is not paid like with Delta, for example, but they will give you a per diem of $24 a day, and that is to help you out. Training is usually 6 days a week. Don't expect a like Monday through Friday type of like 8 to 5 deal. Your days are going to be long, 10-hour days normally, and they could be days, nights, and weekends included in that training. Last time I checked, they do have a uniform for their training, which is black and white. So black and white outfits. And it's like business casual. And last but not least, during training, you must get a 90% or above on every single test that you receive. Now, most companies or most airlines allow you to retake one. Sometimes they allow you to retake 2 tests. I can't really remember how many Allegiant allows you to retake. You have to get a 90% or above in order to successfully pass your training. Now, seniority is based on your date of hire, and out of the class for that hire date, they go by the last 4 digits of your social security. So if your social security starts with a 0 or a 1, you're gonna be at the top of seniority. If your social security ends with a higher number, you're gonna be all the way at the bottom. Unfortunately, that's the way they do it. Allegiantair is really great for people that want to be flight attendants. However, they also want to be home every night. With Allegiantair, you're only doing turns, which means that you start at your base that day and you end at your base that same day. Unless there's any weather or any mechanical issues that may require for you to stay overnight anywhere, you will not be staying overnight. Some people, would like to be a flight attendant, but also come home to their families every night. And if that's the case for you, then this is an excellent company to work for, because you will be home 99% of the time. You will be home. If the company knows that there's going to be a more than 6-hour delay wherever you're at, then you, as the employee, can request for a hotel room. So even though you're probably not going to stay the night in the hotel room, if the company knows that it will be more than 6 hours for the delay, then you can request a hotel room and you can go rest in a hotel room, and then when the rescue plane comes to get you, then you go back to the airport. I think the only exception probably would be if the weather does not permit a plane to come and rescue you. That's probably the only time, because if it's a mechanical issue, they will send an empty plane to come and rescue everybody where you're at and bring you back to your base. But if it's a weather issue, like we've been having recently in the East Coast, there's too much snow or blizzards or whatever, and no one is getting through, that's when you would probably get stuck. But other than that, expect to be home 99% of the time. Okay guys, so they have 2 types of reserve now. They have the home reserve and airport reserve. So let's break them down. The home reserve is a 14-hour shift, and if they do call you for a flight, you have 1.5 hours to get to and report to the airport. And your 14-hour shift gets you a credit of 3.5 hours that will be accredited for your 75-hour monthly guarantee. I hope this is all making sense to you guys. Okay, the airport standby, that is brand new. They used to not have airport standby, but I guess they're going to start because it's in their new contract. So the airport standby is for a 10-hour period, so it's slightly less than being at home, but you are getting a credit of 3.5 hours for both. Either your home reserve, which is 14 hours, or your airport reserve, you will get a credit of 3.5 hours towards your 75-hour monthly guarantee. Now in this new contract, it specifies that you can be scheduled up to a 20-hour day. Okay, so let's break it down. if you're scheduled for a shift that's 14 hours or less, you have your regular crew that is required, which is one flight attendant for every 50 seats. So let's just say that the plane that you're flying requires 4 flight attendants. If it's a 14-hour shift or less, you will fly with your 4 flight attendants. But if it's more than 14 hours, they will give you additional help. So you will have extra flight attendants helping if it's a longer than 14-hour day. So as far as the rest period, now if your day is 14 hours or less, the regular rest period is 9 hours. Now, that means that you have 9 hours to rest before they can assign you another trip. And it can be reduced to 8 hours. That's your minimum rest that they can reduce it to. So normal rest is 9 hours, but it can be reduced to 8. And if they do reduce it, they will give you back the 2 hours. So you will have a 10-hour rest the next time within 24 hours of that happening. But same thing with a shift that is over 14 hours. Now the minimum rest for a shift that is over 14 hours is 12 hours. But again, if they need you, they can reduce your rest to 10 hours. And if they do reduce it to 10 hours, then you will get those couple of hours back within 24 hours of that happening. Just be aware that you can be scheduled for up to a 20-hour day. Allegiantair also gives you an average of 12 days off a month, but no less than 8. So it could vary anywhere between 12 to 8, but usually it's going to be 12, but it could go down to 8 depending on the company needs. Now let's talk about your days off. Now, Allegiant has a couple of days a week that are considered low flight days, and they schedule very minimal flights on those particular days. Low flight dates are considered Saturdays, Mondays, and Tuesdays. So just as an example, when I was there, I always had off one of those 3 days. So it was either a combination of the 3 days, so I always had Saturdays, Mondays, and Tuesdays off, or I had a combination of a Saturday and a Monday off, and then I had work on Tuesday, or it was a Monday, Tuesday, but I had to work on Saturday. So it was always a combination of those 3 days, but it was always those 3 days. I never had a different day off other than a Saturday, a Monday, or a Tuesday. So keep that in mind. As a reserve flight attendant, those are probably going to be your days off because they are low flight days. I mean, you could get something different, but while I was there for I was there for about 7 months before I got the job that I have right now. I never had any days off that were any different than a Saturday, a Monday, or a Tuesday. Now, as far as the uniforms are concerned, Allegiant actually gives you $200 towards the purchase of your uniform. And if you want any more than $200 worth of uniform pieces, then you can obviously pay for the additional pieces on your own. Like I said, headquarters are right here in Las Vegas, but there's also many bases that you can choose from if they have a position available. And that is in Asheville, North Carolina, Bellingham, Washington, Cincinnati, Ohio, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada, Los Angeles, California, Oakland, California, Orlando, Florida, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Punta Gorda, Florida, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Florida. These are all of the bases that are available if you are hired. Just keep in mind you will be having to relocate to one of these bases because I don't think they allow commuting. That's another thing that keep that in mind. I know most major airlines allow commuting. I think the pilots can, but the flight attendants have to live in base. So if you don't live in one of these cities already, keep in mind you will have to relocate to one of these cities. Alright everybody, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like it and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, be sure to share this video with anyone else that you feel might appreciate the content that I bring to you guys. And last but not least, if you have anything to add to this video, any new information, I know this is a brand new contract that Allegiant just signed in November, so if you have any further information, any good tips or anything like that, let's have a conversation, guys. Leave it in the comments down below and let's talk with each other. Until next time, my friends, huge hugs and kisses from my house to your house. Bye!